Welcome back. I'm Eric Sapanik. This is John Caro, and this is the Gold Spot. Well, we've got some things to talk about today, one of which we're going to go back a few weeks back on the month. And something very interesting was said at the World Economic Forum by the president of Argentina. John, can you elaborate a little bit about what happened and who really kind of was the shining star of that conference?
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. Javier Milei is the new president of Argentina. He's an economist, he's a libertarian. He's already devalued the money by 50% because he's determined to fix the economy. Argentina, 100 years ago, was one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And now, last week, they reported at 211% inflation. Milei went to Davos and gave a speech that should have been given 10 years ago. He went after the economic leadership of the world for supporting basically collectivism. And he based his comments on what's actually happened in Argentina. And the most telling thing he said, and I'm quoting now, "The case of Argentina is an empirical demonstration that no matter how rich you are or may be, if measures are adopted that hinder the free functioning of markets, free competition, free price systems, if you hinder trade, if you attack private property, the only possible fate is poverty." And Argentina is a living example of that. And he actually got a round of applause. And he finally told the truth about what's happening in our world economies. The lockstep of political correctness is heading us towards an economic cliff. If you don't think he was right on target, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JPMorgan, gave an interview last Friday, and he addressed the same issue in a different way. Eric, why don't you share that with us?
On the 26th, Jamie Dimon, and let me explain to people who Jamie Dimon is, because not everybody knows. He is the head honcho at JPMorgan Chase. Why is JPMorgan Chase such an important bank, other than the fact, everybody knows who the bank is, but a lot of people don't know that it is the largest bank in the United States and the second largest bank in the world next to the Bank of China. Now, why is he so important? Well, if you are in charge of the largest bank, you have your finger literally on the pulse of the economy. And Jamie Dimon had some very interesting things to talk about, and I'm gonna paraphrase some of the things that he talked about. His response by recalling how the economy looked back in 1982. He said, with inflation around 12%, the prime rate around 21.5%, an unemployment somewhere around 10%, and the debt was around 35% of gross domestic product. So let those numbers kind of sink in for a second. Now, today he noted that the debt to GDP ratio is above 100% and said it is projected to reach 130% by 2035. So with the amount of debt that we have created in this country, Jamie Dimon said that this would be the most predictable crisis in history. So with the debt escalating the way it is, one thing that I want to remind our viewers is I know that a lot of our clients, our viewers, are very confident that there's going to be a changing of the guard to stop this ridiculous amount of spending in the direction of this country. But I want to remind people of something. I want to remind you of what happened in the last congressional election and the last presidential election. Those factors that were concerns then are still very much concerns today. And I don't think that those that are hoping to see that happen should get lost in the clouds just because of how bad things are going, especially with the fact that really when you look at the Republicans right now, they're not doing anything to stop the spending. Once again, there's one thing bipartisan in Washington: spending money and not giving a care about what the result is on the other end. John?
That's right. And again, the wild card in this is become complacent and overconfident and think that there's going to be a change. Even if there is a change, it might not be a change for the better on the economic side. And just keep an eye on the election, because The pattern is both sides are more interested in staying in power than protecting the average citizen.
I could not have stated it better myself. So with that, we're going to wish you a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining us once again. January, believe it or not, is already a wrap, and we will see you in February right here on the Gold Spot. If you enjoyed today's Gold Spot, like or subscribe to both our YouTube or our Rumble channels. Also, comment below if you have any questions or if you want to hear us talk about something specific in a future video.